Before becoming a mother, I worked as a project coordinator at a well-regarded architectural design firm, a job I loved for the challenges and sense of accomplishment it brought me. But after our son Leo was born, my husband Bruce and I agreed, nothing was more important in a child's early years than a mother's presence. So I willingly gave up my career and poured all my energy and intellect into raising this little life. Far from dull, motherhood became my greatest mission. I treated it like managing a grand enterprise. Our shelves were filled with books on child psychology and nutrition. I made Leo's baby food by hand, always using organic ingredients. I recorded every tiny milestone, his first rollover, first smile, first unsteady steps. In the local circle of moms, I was admired and envied. My life felt vibrant, healthy, and full of purpose. Bruce and I were college sweethearts, solid and steady through the years. Our shared dream was slowly taking shape on a plot of suburban land we had chosen together. It was a house we personally helped design. Every room, every window a reflection of our hopes for the future. I had imagined Leo running barefoot in the sun-drenched backyard, pictured us cooking Thanksgiving dinner in our open kitchen for friends. That house wasn't just a home, it was the symbol of our love, the anchor of our family, the embodiment of our American dream. We invested our savings into it and drew up detailed financial plans to make it all work. Back then, I was confident, content, with a clear roadmap for the future. I never imagined that the dirty word gambling would crash into my carefully constructed world in the most unexpected way and rip it to shreds. But life is cruelly ironic like that. The bright future you work toward might never arrive, while the nightmare you think can't touch you might show up on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon and blow your life apart. It all began in the fall of 2017. A Tuesday so ordinary it shouldn't have mattered. But every detail of that moment still replays in my mind in slow motion, each pixel burning with heat. The sun was shining. I was in the car with Leo, not yet 1 year old, cradled in my arms. Bruce and I had driven to a massive home improvement center to pick out tiles for our nearly finished house. Bruce, ever the perfectionist engineer, got out to compare samples with the designer. I stayed in the car with Leo, who was fast asleep in his car seat. I turned down the AC. It was so quiet I could hear only his breathing and the faint hum of construction in the distance. Time dragged on. My patience turned to restlessness. The world outside moved, and I felt stuck, trapped inside a metal box like someone had hit pause on my life. Out of sheer boredom, I began mindlessly scrolling through my phone. That's when a WhatsApp notification popped up. I'd been added to a strange group. The name was tacky, Fast Track to Wealth. Messages flooded in at dizzying speed, full of words like big, small, odd, even, and strings of random numbers. I was about to leave the group when I saw two familiar names, two cousins, actively chatting in it. I messaged one of them, Karen. "What is this? Looks like a gambling group." She replied almost instantly, casually, like it was no big deal. "Hey Koala, it's just an online betting game, guessing odd or even numbers, big or small. Super simple. We added you because the group owner is doing a promo. You get $50 for each person you invite. Thought you could use some extra cash." My first reaction was anger and alarm. "Karen, this is dangerous. I've heard of people losing everything to this. It's online gambling. It's a scam." "Don't be so uptight," she laughed in a voice note. "It's not like we're addicts. You're home with a baby all day, bored out of your mind. What's wrong with playing a few rounds, betting $5 or $10, like buying a Starbucks coffee? You might even win enough for dinner. Just don't go crazy, and you'll be fine." Her words were like a pebble dropped into the still lake of my mind, creating ripples I didn't expect. She wasn't wrong. I was bored. The repetitive routine of motherhood sometimes left me feeling detached from the world. Bruce was out there building our future, and me? I was just a mother. Karen sent me screenshots of her winnings, $30 here, $100 there, with bank notifications to prove the money was real. "It's instant," she said. "Win or lose, the money settles immediately. Totally reliable." The car felt smaller, the air more stifling. Leo slept deeply. Bruce was still talking to the designer. My curiosity, long suppressed, began to stir. I told myself, just look. No betting. But I overestimated my self-control. With Karen's help, I placed a $5 bet on big. Minutes later, she messaged me excitedly. "You won, Koala." My account showed a $4.75 gain after fees. It was a trivial amount, but the jolt of excitement, the high of getting something for nothing, was undeniable. It blew away the afternoon gloom like a gust of wind. While waiting for Bruce to return, I had Karen place a few more small bets. Some wins, some losses, but by the end, I'd made $13. A meaningless sum, but the thrill was intoxicating. It made me question everything I thought I knew about online gambling. Maybe I thought Karen was right. If done in moderation, it's just harmless fun. That night, after putting Leo to bed, washing bottles, and tidying the house, I did something I never did before. I didn't pick up a parenting book. I picked up my phone. The group had me hooked. Like a voyeur, I watched the betting frenzy unfold, the wins and losses, the digital jubilation and despair. Eventually, I joined in. Cautiously. I bet on simple odds, odd or even, never more than $10 per round. By the time I went to sleep, I'd made over $100. That was more than I'd ever earned from writing a parenting blog post. And it had come so easily. The sense of control, the rush, it was addictive. The next day, the thrill turned into a craving. Every spare moment, during Leo's nap, when he played by himself, I was glued to my phone. I began studying patterns, following the so-called mentor in the group, who claimed to exploit platform algorithms. Shockingly, his tips worked. I kept winning. The amounts grew. That night, I fell completely. I told Bruce I didn't feel well, and went to bed early. Under the covers, the glow of my phone lit up my greedy face. I played until 2 a.m., when the server shut down. When I finally checked my bank account, I nearly gasped. I had won over $35,000 in less than 4 days. Real money, sitting in my account. The feeling outstripped anything I'd ever felt at work. In that moment, I lost all sense of reason. I no longer felt like a housewife. I was a genius, someone who had cracked the code to wealth. My imagination soared. At this rate, I thought, I could be a millionaire in a month. We could pay off the house, get a better car, travel to Europe, give Leo the best education. Millions, even billions, suddenly felt within reach. That was the day I stopped being an observer and became a full-blown gambling addict. I dove headfirst into the flower-strewn trap of online gambling. What followed was a replay of every tragic gambler's tale. The initial luck was bait. Soon, the mentor's tips stopped working. Losses piled up. I watched my winnings vanish and couldn't let go. It felt like my rightful money had been stolen, and I had to win it back at all costs. So I raised my stakes. From $50 to $500 to $1,000. When I lost, I bet double, desperately trying to recover. It's the fastest path to ruin. Then my eyes landed on the $200,000 joint account we had saved for the house. I still remember the first time I transferred money from that account. My heart pounded. My palms were soaked. It's just a loan, I told myself. I'll win it back with a little profit and return it. Bruce will never know. I believed the lie. I moved $50,000 into my personal account and dove into that virtual battlefield like a crazed soldier. The money vanished within hours. Panic. Regret. Obsession. My reason collapsed under the weight of my desperation. I kept pulling money from that account, $100,000, $150,000, until the balance hit zero. We had nothing left for the house. To keep the secret, I spiraled deeper. I maxed out every credit card, first the basic ones, then platinum cards. When those were gone, I turned to instant loan sites, promising fast cash with outrageous interest rates, 25%, 35%. I didn't care. I needed money to bet, to win it back. To everyone else, I was still the upbeat, picture-perfect koala. I told no one. I was a lone diver, drowning in invisible debt and despair. I became hollow. I barely noticed Leo anymore. Storytime bored me. Building blocks tested my patience. During our daily walks, I never looked up from my phone, just bet after bet after bet. His giggles and cries faded into background noise. The moment that shattered me came suddenly. One afternoon, I was pushing Leo in his stroller. He'd just learned to walk, eager to climb a tiny 3-step platform. I was in the middle of a crucial bet, one last desperate double down using a loan I'd just received. Leo whined to be let out. I snapped, shoved him back in, and barked, "Stop it!" My eyes locked on the screen. The countdown ended. The result, loss. Another gut punch. I dropped my phone, picked up my sobbing child, sat with him on that cold platform. My body shook violently, but I couldn't cry. What had I done? To myself, my son, my family? For a few days I quit, deleted the app, left the groups, tried to return to normal. But the debt loomed like a storm cloud. Creditors called. Emails poured in. Bruce mentioned we had to make a big construction payment soon. Desperation returned. I reached for the poison again, swearing this would be the last time. I remembered my life insurance policy, its cash value. I took out a $100,000 loan against it through a high-interest lender, using the last shred of my credit. Back to the battlefield. I told myself I'd bet carefully. But careful gambling is a joke. Under pressure, I lost the $100,000 faster than anything before. When the account hit zero, I broke. It was over. 6 months. That's all it took. I couldn't borrow another cent. Bruce asked for the construction funds. I couldn't lie anymore. That night, in our silent living room, I confessed everything, fragmented, ashamed. I didn't dare mention the full amount. I just said I'd lost some money. He didn't comfort me. Not even a little. Just rage. Disgust. "You ignored our son for your damn phone," he screamed. You flushed our future down the toilet. Everything gone. His words cut deeper than any blade. I snapped. If you can't accept it, divorce me. All the debts are in my name. I'll pay. You won't have to. It was a lie. A delusion. I had no idea how much work it would take to repay even a fraction of what I'd lost. The marriage didn't end immediately. Leo was too young. But we were done. Bruce vowed he wouldn't repay a single dollar. The house became a cold, shared space. The debt, $930,000. Credit cards, loans, our savings, all gone. Eventually, the total swelled to $1.5 million thanks to compounding interest. I lost everything. My partner, our dream home, my peace of mind, all because of that one foolish, curiosity-fueled decision in a parked car on a boring afternoon.